As Marilyn Monroe once stated, "I live to succeed, not to please you or anyone else." This quote represents the character and values of Marilyn Monroe. Not only did Marilyn strive to succeed in her lifetime, but she also strived to please her needs over the opinions of what others thought of her. Among the many things that Marilyn did in her lifetime, the one that really stood out was success. To many, she was just a pretty face, but to me, she was a representation of starting from the bottom and working hard to get to the top. Marilyn had a rough start in life, but that ultimately motivated her to become who she wanted to be in the future, a famous actress. Today, we will be talking about Marilyn's early life, rise to stardom, and then her death at a young age. We will begin with the early life of Marilyn Monroe. According to IMDb.com, the biography of Marilyn Monroe, Norma Jean Mortensen, the birth name of Marilyn Monroe, was born on June 1st, 1926 in Los Angeles, California. Marilyn's birth mother was named Gladys, and her father was an unknown character. When Marilyn was about 10 years old, her mother developed a psychiatric problem, eventually leading her into a mental institution. Due to her mother's absence, she bounced around from foster care homes, which were provided $5 a week to take care of her. When she was 11, her mother's best friend, known as Aunt Grace, stepped in and took care of her. Although she was her guardian, she had little money, so Marilyn had to stay in foster care. According to Marilyn's autobiography, My Story by Ben Hecht, her life in the foster homes was a horrible experience. Marilyn, although still very young, was forced to do all the household chores, wear a uniform, and she was also raped by her foster care provider, Mr. Kimmel, who paid her to keep quiet about the sexual abuse. When Marilyn tried to tell her aunt and others about the constant sexual abuse, they didn't believe her, so Norma Jean had to take things into her own hands. At the time, the only way to get out of being foster care was to get married, and that is just what she did. At the age of 16, Marilyn Monroe married James Doherty, her neighbor for most of her young life. About 3 years into her marriage, she divorced him at the age of 19. As Marilyn stated in her book, My Story by Ben Hecht, "My marriage brought me neither happiness nor pain. My husband and I hardly spoke, not because we were angry, but because we had nothing to say." The end of her marriage with James led to her rise to stardom, with her fast move to Hollywood to become a movie star. Next, we will look at Marilyn's fast rise to stardom in Hollywood, California. According to Biography.com, Marilyn Monroe's biography, Marilyn started as a model to make money and soon after got a part in a small film called Asphalt Jungle. Due to her outstanding acting in this film, over the years she began to get recognized by bigger film directors. In the year 1950, her acting career took off and she signed with 20th Century Fox. From the years 1950 to 1953, she starred in 5 movies and was becoming one of Hollywood's most famous actresses. As her acting career took off, she decided to make a change in her appearance by dyeing her hair from dark brown to a blonde color. This blonde hair became her look and is still today is what she is recognized by. Her most famous known photo around the world was from the movie The 7-Year Itch, made in 1955, which showcased her comedy side to the filmmaking industry. Throughout her filmmaking career, Marilyn Monroe appeared in 29 completed films and was praised and received many awards for her talented acting. Over the years, it is known that her films grossed more than $200 million. According to UnitedAcademics.org, being Marilyn, throughout her acting career, she had a string of unsuccessful relationships known as her 9-month marriage with Joe DiMaggio, her 3-year marriage with her playwright Arthur Miller, and her alleged affair with John F. Kennedy following her famous Happy Birthday, Mr. President performance in 1962. As her marriages fizzled out, so did her acting career, but her success and hard work in the film industry will always be remembered. Just as her career was short, so is her life. We will now move on to her death at a young age. According to Biography.com, Marilyn Monroe's biography, on August 5, 1962, at the age of 36, Marilyn Monroe died in her Los Angeles home. Her death was known to be due to a drug overdose of sleeping pills. Her eulogy at her funeral was delivered by her lifetime mentor and best friend Lee Strasberg, and famously, Hugh Hefner bought the crypt right directly next to hers, and her husband, Joe DiMaggio, or her ex-husband, Joe DiMaggio, had red roses delivered to her grave twice a week for the next 20 years. In conclusion, Marilyn Monroe is supposedly known as one of the greatest actresses in history and is still today known as a sex symbol, a great Hollywood talent. From her rough start in life to her remarkable acting career and death, she always had a way of succeeding and working hard to accomplish her ultimately achieved goal of becoming a famous movie star. Until her death, she lived up to her quote to succeed, only pleasing herself in the process. "I live to succeed, not to please you or anyone else."